Hey folks, Levi here once again. Welcome back to another review. Hope you enjoyed my review yesterday of Hellboy 2004 and The Punisher, starring Thomas Jane, and Hellboy, starring Ron Perlman. Those reviews are on my channel right now. Well, we're not upstairs. Different location for a video today. I'm in my room. Not the basement. Hey, I'm not complaining. I got my movies over there. This is my new TV. Yeah, new flat screen TV, pretty nice. And this is my cabinet. Keep some movies that I review in here. Some movies that I haven't watched that I don't really have room for to put on my shelf. So I just, let's see, the camera's working. Okay. But anyway, today is a revisit review. Before I get to that though, again, make sure to subscribe to this channel, the one that has the mask profile picture. I just have to keep on reminding you folks. I just don't want you, be confused or anything. That's why I'm letting you know. Yeah, subscribe to this channel, one that has the Levi McNally 983, Levi McNally with the mask profile picture on it. Subscribe to this channel, share it. I appreciate the support and stuff. Thank you for some of the good views on 35 views, at least. Not a lot of views, but I appreciate it, guys. Keeps on making me want to do more videos and stuff. But this is a revisit review. I'm on the 2000s era of superhero reviews. You know, uh, 2000s era. I'm reading superhero movies that came out in the year of the year 2000s. 2000, the year two, starting with 2000 to 2009, and we are in the year still 2004. And today is a revisit review. Yeah, to one of the best sequels I think ever made. Awesome sequel. I do have some minor issues with it. It's right that this is still the best film in this franchise of all these movies of Spider-Man, and of course, wearing my Spider-Man shirt, you can tell. This is a revisit review for the 2004 superhero film Spider-Man 2, which actually turned 20 this year. Back in June, because this movie was released back in June. Yeah, this was like the most anticipated movie for me of that year. I remember being so excited because I love the first movie. You know, Because me and my family, we went to the mall. Because my dad's side of the family. One of the other side, they went to go see Shrek 2. We went to go see Spider-Man 2. And it was a big theater. It was a great experience seeing this movie theaters. This movie has since Sam Raimi directed some, I'll mention that a little earlier, a little later in the video, but he directed the Evil Dead films. This film does have some horror aspects to it. Sometimes it jumped me a little bit. And I saw it in theaters another time, you know, a shorter theater, but I saw it again for a second time in theater. I think I got it on DVD then, and it was on VHS then. So I used to watch this movie on VHS at my grandma's old house, where she used to live out here. She had like a little VHS set or whatever, and I used to watch some movies, including Batman '89 and Spider-Man 2, among some others, probably like RoboCop. All three movies. RoboCop 3 sadly, unfortunately, but I gotta watch RoboCop 2, so hey. And Spider-Man 2 is one of them. I watched that on VHS a couple times. Always great to watch this movie. And again, it turns 20 years old. I'm like, wow, time, where's the time go, fellas? And I don't have a watch. But that's just awesome. I love this sequel. This is still, in my opinion, the best Spider-Man movie. Toby, I don't think it's the best Spider-Man opinion. I know people would disagree with me probably on that strongly, but I do like him as Peter Parker. I just, but I do say there's some moments in here where they do give him some humor a little bit. I want more of that, but I'll get more into that later. And we get Doc Ock as the villain this time. This is a great Blu-ray. You got the extended version of the movie. The extended version I do like. I do have some issues with that one particularly because some of the humor, like in the elevator when Spidey's in the elevator because he can't because of his losing his powers, the guy's talking and running his mouth too much, and like that's annoying. But and Mary Jane, it seems she's talking to her friend, talking about Peter. I didn't care for that scene. I did enjoy the extra fight scenes between Spidey and Doc Ock. That was cool. We got to see a little bit more of that. I don't remember too much. And then J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson, he steals the show here once again. He wears a spider suit and he's swinging around the office, messing around with Hoffman, Robbie, and Elizabeth Banks, Betty. They're all just like, yeah. And you got some special features for the behind the scenes of the movie, making the amazing a 12-part documentary, which is really good to watch. And talk about Dog Eight Arms to Hold You. Talk about the casting of Alfred. This is the Blu-ray disc. Now, don't want to damage the Blu-ray, so I'm very careful. But I love the artwork here. When Doc Ock is fighting Spider-Man. Sorry, I don't want to destroy the Blu-ray. It's such a nice, awesome Blu-ray. Love the cover. This is still probably my favorite Spider-Man film. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Definitely my favorite. Definitely the best one. I just have some minor issues, but I'll get more into that later. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into the production of the movie a little bit. Okay. For the production, immediately after finishing Spider-Man, director Sam Raimi signed to direct a sequel. In April 2002, Sony hired Smallville, Smallville writers, people who created Smallville, Alfred Guff and Miles Miller, who created the TV show Smallville, which I love Smallville, to write script of the film as Raimi, Siskin, and McGuire loved Smallville. On May 8, 2002, following Spider-Man's record-breaking $150 million opening weekend because the film came out with a big hit, titled The Amazing Spider-Man after the character's main comic book title. The film was given a budget of $200 million and aimed for a release date of May 7, 2004. The following month, David Cope was added to co-write with Guff and Miller. Cope originally wanted to do the Gwen Stacy and Harry Osborn story and have Gwen to be killed in the middle of the second movie. September 2002, Michael Chapin decided to rewrite. He drafted a younger Doc Ock who becomes a faster way Mary Jane. His mechanical limbs use endurance to contract the pain of being attached to his body, which he enjoys. They did want to add Doc Ock into the first movie, but it was just too much to add in, so they waited for to make the sequel. When they got the green light to make the sequel, they decided to add in Doc Ock, Doctor Octopus finally, Otto Octavius, which when he injures two workers on date, this horrifies Mary Jane. And there was wrestling battle with Spider-Man. His tentacles are fused together, and the fusion begins to kill him. In the script, Octavius is the creator of the gently Ultra Spider from the first one, and gives Peter an antidote to remove his powers. This means when Octavius is down with his tentacles, he must exert Spider-Man's spine to save himself. This leads to an alliance with Harry, a detail which are made in the finished film. Beforehand, Harry and David put a $10 million price on Spider-Man's head, causing the citizens to turn against him. Raimi sifted through the previous drafts by Goff, Miller, Cope, and Champ, picking up what he's like with screenwriter Evan Sherdnett. He felt that thematically the film had to explore Peter's conflict with his personal once against his responsibility, exploring the positive and negatives of his chosen path. And now he ultimately decides that he can be happy as a heroic figure. Raimi said that he took inspiration from Superman 2, from the story Peter giving up his responsibilities, because Superman does that in Superman 2. He gives up his powers to be with Lois Lane, which only ended up being a mistake for Superman. Although the story takes influence from Doc Ock's debut in 1963 storyline, This Be My Destiny, the story was mostly inspired by the 1967 storyline Spider-Man No More. It was decided that Doc Ock would be kept as the villain, as he was both a visually interesting villain who was a physical match for Spider-Man and sympathetic figure with humanity, accompanied by the fact that the character had been repeatedly considered as a villain with the first one over the course of 15 years in development. Raimi changed much of the character's backstory, however, adding the idea of Otto Octavius being a hero of Peter, and how their conflict was about trying to rescue him from his demons rather than kill him. When Tobey Maguire signed on his property Spider-Man 2000, he was given 3 film contracts, so he signed a contract, so he had to come back to play Spidey. If he didn't, they probably would have ended up suing him. After filming Seabiscuit from 2002. Reese is in bad condition, I think, because we had to ride a horse in that movie. I've never seen that movie. It's probably a good film, by the way. But anyway, I think he got hurt. And it was bothering him. Raimi heard that McGuire could be paralyzed if there was an injury in his back, so they probably had to use a couple of stunt doubles in this movie. You can't have your star get hurt. It really affects the movie. The days they shoot, the budget goes down. To make a movie costs money, folks, and when you don't have your star to film the movie, yeah, a lot of people can get injured. It may not even be Toby in the suit sometimes. But in his back, Jake Gyllenhaal was cast to replace McGuire. The two actors resemble each other, a source to McGuire reportedly said that had Gyllenhaal taken over the role a year from now, the public wouldn't know the difference. McGuire's girlfriend's father, Ronald Meyer, head of Universal Studios, helped McGuire gain the role with a sale of $17 million. McGuire underwent tests to make sure his back was fit for filming. Gyllenhaal will later say in 2019, he was saying that he was one of several actors considered to replace McGuire. Raimi said that prior to filming, he was concerned that McGuire and Dunst weren't going to have the same chemistry, as they had since broken up. Several actors were considered for the part of Dr. Octopus, but the good news about Jack Gyllenhaal, he did get to play Spider-Man villain many years later in the late 2010s, 2019. He got to play Quentin Beck Mysterio, yeah, which I liked him in that movie. Sue me. Several actors were considered for the role, which was Ed Harris, Chris Cooper, and Christopher Walken. But Alfred Molina was cast as Octavius in 2000. None of physical training for the role. The reaction to his casting was mixed. Some people didn't like it, like the guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark, or Dudley Do Right, because he played one of the people were like, oh gosh, he might not be good. If people maybe, I'm guessing if they did not like Dudley Do Right, and he's being over top silly villain. They're like, oh my god, this is gonna be a cartoon. Yeah. I don't know if people were thinking that. I'm just thinking maybe, or just in people couldn't see it at the time. Raimi had been impressed by his performance on Friday and also felt that his large physical size was true to the comic book character. Molina only briefly discussed the role and was not aware that he was a strong contender. He was a big fan of the Marvel comics and was excited to get the part. Although he was not familiar with Doc Ock, Molina found one element of the comics that he wanted to maintain. The character's cruel, sarcastic sense of humor. Filming Spider-Man 2, I like they call it the Spider Cam. Yeah, how you get shots of their Spider-Man swinging. Spider-Man 2 was shot over 100 sets and locations, beginning with a pre-shoot and open in Chicago. Sorry, I'm going too fast, fellas. People, folks, sorry. 2 days in November 2002. The crew required train of series cars, placed 16 cameras for background shots of Spider-Man and Doc Ock's train fight. Film was originally slated to start in January 2003, but was pushed back to April so that McGuire could finish Seabiscuit. Photography began on April 12, 2003, in New York City and Chicago. The crew moved to May 13th to Los Angeles, shooting sets created by production designer Neil Spec. After the scare turning on his back pains, Tobey Maguire relished performing many of his stunts, even creating a joke of it with Raimi creating the line, "My back, my back." As Spider-Man tries to regain his powers, Raimi said that while filming the scene, he yelled at McGuire to get to the edge of the building, but McGuire refused to do it. Even Rosemary Harris took a turn, putting her stunt double out of work. Yeah, but Spider-Man has a saber. I give that lady, she's a trooper. Still the best Aunt May, in my opinion. She's a trooper. What she wanted to do the stunt herself. I often joked that the team would trick him into performing a stunt time and again. I do believe there was a scene where, uh, from what I heard, Willem Dafoe was sneaking on set or and was pretending to be Doc Ock. You could probably find it on YouTube, but that was really funny. And I think he was walking past the set or whatever, and they said the filmmakers said, "Hey, William Defoe, do you want to be in the movie?" So they let him have a cameo in the movie. Even though no one died, they gave him a cameo in the film. J.K. Simmons said that while filming the scene where Spider-Man gets his suit back, Simmons said he's a thief, he's fake teeth. But yeah, it did happen. I think you see it in a blooper reel probably. It's like he's Spider-Man. He teeth fall out, and that was hilarious. Or when he goes, Spider-Man, he's a thief. He's on web. Yeah, that was funny. And when teeth fell out of his mouth, he's like, cracking up. Filming was put on hiatus for 8 weeks in order to build Doc Ock's layer. It had Pierre layer. It had been idea to use collapsed Pierre as the Ox layer. But an explosive version of previous life and resembling how Octavius' life had collapsed and grown more monstrous. The cinema, the filming then resumed on set that had been taking 15 weeks to build. The camera system called SpiderCam was used to follow filmmakers to express more Spider-Man's worldview. At times, showing 50 stories with shot lengths of just over 2,004 feet. For some shots, the camera would shoot at 6 frames per second for a faster playback, increasing the sensor speed. Shots using the SpiderCam were planned in additional versions of cities. Visual effects, costume chef James Hunter made numerous changes to Spider-Man's costume. His colors were made richer and bolder. Spider album was given more lines and enlarged. His eyes lenses were somewhat smaller, and the muscle suit indeed was made into pieces. There's, the helmet McGuire wore under the mask was also improved, with better movement for the false jaw and magnet eyepieces, which were easier to move. To create Doc Ock, they had to use edge effects for hire to create a metal and rubber turtle. They had to do tests with it. The claws of the tentacle, which were called death flowers, but it is pretty practical. Were controlled by the one puppeteer sitting on a chair. Each tentacle was controlled by 4 people. Every single Molina so that they could give a natural sense of movement if his tentacle was moving due to Octavius' muscle movement. Molina referred to his tentacles as Larry, Harry, Mo, and Flo. Flo being the top 8 tentacles operated by a female grip. The form dedicated Larry, Harry, and Mo. Yeah, some names of the Three Stooges there. Flo moving his glasses and lighting his cigar. Edgefax was hired to do scenes where Octavius carries his tentacles. CGI was used for when the tentacles carry Octavius. The CGI versions were scanned straight for the real ones to then appear more realistic. However, using real versions were always preferred to save money. In some shots, CGI is used. Melina is replaced by a virtual actor possessing the CGI tentacles. Through the use of the motion capture and cyber canning. As with the previous one, John Dykes served as the visual effects designer. Dykes and his crew sought to make the worst shot of the second movie look like as good as the best shot of the first movie. Dykes not only created the physical appearance of Octavius' tentacles, but also the nuclear reaction that Octavius attempts to carry out in the film. The reaction resembles the sun, complete with solar flares, poses a threat to immediate environment through its strong gravity pull, which can draws surrounding objects directly into generate. As mentioned previously, the film's increased budget allowed the reaction to have a significant amount of artistry and reality. And for the music score for Spider-Man 2, Danny Elfman returns. Now, I do like the score for Danny Elfman's score. It is good, but I'm never fully true, if in my opinion, I don't think it fully fits Spider-Man. A lot of people are going to get mad at me, but I do enjoy the score of The Amazing Spider-Man by James Horner. It's just, da, 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 just a little more softer. You know, this score is pretty loud at times, and I get it, but you don't, But then you got good songs in here too, like Vindicated by Dashboard Confessional, Ordinary by Train. That's probably my favorite song in the movie. Then you got Spidey Suit, which is good. Doc Ock has his theme, which I do love Doc Ock's theme though. Da 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 da. And then you have that Junkie XL, I think you might call it. I don't know. But they do a song in the movie, Spider Man. I love that song at the end credits of the movie. The film did have some marketing though. Burger King had toys out for the movie. You had commercials. You can find here on YouTube. They had commercials that had toys for the film. Yeah, toys for the movie. Yeah, again, a marketing tool is marketing for a movie that is the tool for a movie to make money is what I'm trying to say. You had Kellogg's cereal. Yeah, they had Spider Man, on cereals for Kellogg's. Again, like I said, marketing is a tool for your movie, for if you want people to come see it. And of course, I'm sure, had TV spots and trailers. They had, I think, a Dr. Pepper. I'm not really big fans of the Pepper, but Dr. Pepper. You had, I think, even Doc Ock was on some of the drinks as well. I remember, I do remember the picture for Doc Ock, him just staring at the back and with the claws. I'm like, that amazing picture. I do remember that. This will be one of the posters for the movie. You have Spider-Man 2, the video game. I played the game before. And in the game, of course, you control Spider-Man. It's where you're in New York. You get to fight some of the villains. You get to web swing. And this time, unlike the first game where you can't land on the ground, you land on the ground. You can have more punches. You know, you get to fight villains like Mysterio, Rhino, and of course Doc Ock himself. Doc Ock, not in the movie, but in the game, when he robs the bank, he has goons that you have to fight. You know, and of course, web string fight, and of course at Doc's lair with the solo fair with his machine that you have to destroy it to fight him. Yeah, and he's got like you got Black Cat in here as well. Like so, Quentin Beck and Rhino, I mentioned them already, and you got Kurt Connors in here as well. Oh, and yeah, you also have Shocker in the game. Yeah, but it's the same plot as the movie. They got the Prestige trailers released. I remember it was Peter and Mary Jane talking, and then when Doc Ock throws a car in there, in the trailer, yeah, good music. Kraft Foods, Major League Baseball, Kellogg's, and NBC's hotels. The film was released on DVD and VHS on November 3rd, 2004. Eventually, it did come to Blu-ray. Probably on 4K now. Spider-Man 2.10, the extended version of the movie, but you don't need to get the extended version. Get this Blu-ray version. If you want to see the extended version of Spider-Man, get this Blu-ray like I have. Probably find it, well, I don't say the best buy. Maybe Walmart, Targets. Yeah. I think I found, I can't remember where I got this. I think it was Walmart. Yeah. Spider-Man 2 has really been listed as one of the best superhero films ever made, which I agree with. It is better. I do say it's better. I do think this is better than the first movie, in my opinion. Film Rejects called it the best school summer movie ever, which I agree. It won some Academy Awards. Let's see, did it win one? Okay, yeah, it did win awards for Best Visual Effects, uh, Film Edition Movie of the Year, one. Film Music Award, one. Best Popular Movie, one. Best Director for Sam Raimi, he won. Yeah. Best Fantasy Film, Best Actor for Tobey Maguire, one. Best Director, Best Writer, he won. Best Special Effects, yeah, so it won quite a bit of awards here. Not gonna read the whole thing, but yeah. I already mentioned the video game, and of course the film got Spider-Man 3, which I don't think I even care for Spider-Man 3 anymore. Yeah, that film's not good. But anyway, more Spider-Man 3 in the future. And then you get the rebooted films, the Andrew Garfield ones, the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, which were not very well received. Melina did and Toby did respire their roles again for Spider-Man Doc Ock and Spider-Man No Way Home decades later. Yeah, but okay, let me get into the cast now. Sorry, but this movie, especially being 20, deserves a long review. Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Toby, I've seen him in other movies like uh, never seen Cisco Biscuit. Well, he was in an episode of The Walker Texas Ranger, and I think he was in a movie called Pleasantville. I love Pleasantville. Kristen Dunst as Mary Jane Watson. I'm not really big on her as Mary Jane in this film, especially she's annoying. She gets worse in the third movie, but here she's somewhat tolerable, even though cringeworthy at times, in my opinion. I liked her at the ending, but that's about it. For Kristen Dunst, I liked her in other movies like Jumanji. I thought she was good in that. I loved her in Small Soldiers. I thought she was good. She was more of a Spitfire in that movie, more of a badass in that film. Yeah, instead of being a damsel in distress. James Franco as Harry Osborn. His performance is a little better this time, where Harry's now a chief executive officer, CEO for Oscorp. Replacing his father, of course. Alfred Molina plays the new villain, Dr. Otto Octavius, Dr. Octopus, or Doc Ock, if you will. Rosemary Harris as May Parker. Donna Murphy as Rosie Octavius. Let's see, Donna Murphy, beautiful actress, by the way. I think she was in the Born. She was in Star Trek Insurrection, playing the love interest for Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart in that movie. One of the best things about that movie, in my opinion. Alfred Molina, let's say he's done quite a bit. Species, I remember him as Razor Lost Ark. Species, he was good in that. He was in the Pink Panther 2, Frozen 2. He did Ralph Breaks the Internet. Did a voice work for that, and of course, for the role for Doc Ock in Spider-Man: No Way Home. Rosemary Harris, she's 96 years old now. Can't think of any other movies I've seen her, but she's a great actress. J.K. Simmons, of course, comes back as J. Jonah Jameson. Daniel Gillis portrays his son, John Jameson. Oh, he was also in Pleasantville as a medic, so he's worked with Toby before. Bruce Campbell has a cameo appearance as the usher who refuses to let Peter into the for, to the in the play when he arrives late. Stanley, has a cameo. Dalen Baker portrays Dr. Kirk Connors. He's a colleague of Octavius. Of course, Dr. Kirk Connors would end up becoming the Lizard. Elizabeth Banks comes back, as Betty Brant, and Ted Raimi comes back as Hoffman. Robbie Robert, yeah, Bill Nunn. Well, this guy died back in 2016. So sad. Died of leukemia, but he was a good actor. I liked him as Robbie Robertson. Scott Pacheco portrays a man who attempts to eat some deadly pizza. Now, from what I heard, this guy was like a writer for, yeah, and directed some movies. I think he worked with Sam Raimi on some movies. Evil Dead 2, he was one of the scriptwriters in that. He was in Darkman as well. Spider-Man, he was a rooftop pizza thief. Yeah, but he's worked with, yeah. Joe McHale portrays a Mr. Jacks, a bank teller. Hal Sparks portrays an elevator passenger. Isaiah Madon portrays Mr. S, the owner of Joe's Pizza. Joey Diaz and Hicks Chloe portray chain passengers. Yeah, okay. That's it for the cast. The film is directed by Sam Raimi, who I thought Sam Raimi did great this time. And the screenplays by Alvin Sargent. He's done screenplays for other movies like Paper Moon, What About Bob? Love What About Bob? Spider-Man 3 and The Amazing Spider-Man. passed away from natural causes. Well, sadly passed away. But he was a good writer. I do love What About Bob though. That yeah. And stories about Africa from Osmo. They also wrote the TV show Smallville, as I mentioned before, Michael Champion. Based on Spider-Man created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. Produced by Lawrence Siskin, Ava Albert, who's produced a lot of Marvel movies ever since Blade from 1998. One woman passed away, another good actress, you know, this other film producer passed away. She produced the Spider-Man, the first two Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man movie, and the third one, and the Amazing Spider-Man film. It was an executive producer in those movies. Yeah. Uh, Cinematography by Bill Pope. He did the cinematography of Darkman, Army of Darkness, so he's worked with him before. Blank Check, Clueless, Bedazzled, Brendan Fraser, and Elizabeth Hurley. Men in Black 3, Baby Driver, Ant-Man and the Wasp, with Shang-Chi, that's other Marvel movies as well. Edited by Bob McCurry, can't say his name right. He also worked with Raimi on Darkman, Army of Darkness. He worked on Hard Target with John Woo, because I think Sam Raimi did have some issues with John Woo, but he did somewhat, I think, executive produce some Van Damme movies. Raimi did. He worked on From Dusk Till Dawn 2, Texas Blood Injury, Texas Blood Money, I mean, sorry. And he edited the first Spider-Man film, Spider-Man 3, Oz the Great and Powerful, Kong Skull Island, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, that was right after, many years after Spider-Man 3. Music is by Danny Elfman. Now, I actually know Danny Elfman is known for doing other superhero scores, like for including Batman, Batman Returns, and he did music scores for Darkman and Dick Tracy and the TV series The Flash, starring John Wesley Shipp. Yeah, I'm just going with superhero, but the first was Batman, Tim Burton's Batman in 1989. And like I said, Dick Tracy, Darkman, Batman Returns. Yeah, I think him and Sam Raimi had like some issues or had a falling out. I heard, and yeah, right after I think it was right after Spider-Man 2, because I think it was yeah, he did the music score for the first Spider-Man, Hulk from 2003, Spider-Man 2, but he didn't do Spider-Man 3 because like I said, they had a falling out. But eventually, I think they got along back along again together. The two got along eventually again, I guess, because they worked on. I think he did the musical for Oz. Yeah, he did. Okay, Oz the Great and Powerful, and I believe Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and Justice League a little bit. Yeah, that was 2022. And now he's also doing the musical for Beetlejuice 2, Beetlejuice. Yeah, not gonna say it a third time. Hmm. Its production company is Columbia Pictures, Marvel Enterprises, Laura Siskin Productions, distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing. It was released June 25th, 2004 in Man Village Theater and in the worldwide, in the US, the United States, on June 30th, 2004. It's 127 minutes long, or even though my Blu-ray here says 136 minutes long, maybe including credits. But the budget was $200 million, and the box office made $795.9 million worldwide. It became the third highest grossing film of the year. Yeah. It's Spider-Man 2, and it's considered by many one the best Spider-Man film, and I can see why. Alright. We're in 20 minutes in. Sorry, folks. Well, you know what? A film like this is. Now I'm going to talk about you the plot synopsis. Then I'm going to talk about the movie itself, and then I'm going to give my final opinion and maybe my minor problems I have with it. But I do not hate this film. Uh, But for the plot synopsis of this movie for Spider-Man 2 is that it's set 2 years of the original. The film focuses on Peter Parker struggling to manage both his personal life and his duties as Spider-Man. The main villain in the film is, is Doc Ock. He tries this experiment, power of the sun in his hands of this experiment. The experiment goes awry, and he becomes Dr. Octopus becomes Doc Ock after his wife dies. He threatens to endanger lots of people in New York City. So Spider-Man, Peter has to make a choice whether to keep being Spider-Man or not, but also he's got to deal with Doc Ock, who building his machine, it can hurt a lot of people, it can cause a lot of effect, it can kill half of everybody in New York. So he has to become Spider-Man once again and to basically struggle with that, but also sorry, but also take on Doc Ock, defeat him, and stop him from destroying New York City and save the day and save Mary Jane, of course. Yeah, and that's the plot in the show for you. All right, I'll talk about the movie itself. Now, I do love the opening. My favorite open title scene was for the movie. You get the opening of the film. Spider-Man 2 has a nice opening. You get to see. I really do think that Raimi took inspiration from Richard Donner, or you can say Richard Lester too, with Superman the movie and Superman 2, because Superman 2, the Lester version, opens up with the scene sequences from the first movie, and it does it here. It does, but it's like these painted pictures from the first film. I'm like, that was very brilliant for him to do that. So you can definitely tell he took inspiration. He had to take inspiration from Superman 2. And Peter Quinn, he took inspiration definitely from Superman 2. Which I'm not complaining. He doesn't rip it off. He does it, it's like a little nice homage. And that was very brilliant. It's letting us know, the audience, the viewer, you're watching it, it's the same movie. And it's set 2 years later. You have Peter Parker talking and saying, "My name is Peter Parker, and you know who I am. I get to see Mary Jane today. Mary Jane's like a popular actress now, working in plays and stuff. He gets to see her poster every day, but he really doesn't get to see her. He's like, I'm Peter Parker too, and I too have a job. And he almost runs over his boss. He's like, "Hey Parker, you always late, man. You always late." No. He's like this. Joe's Pizza guarantees a promise, man. I lose customer forever. He was like, seriously, Parker, I know to you a promise means nothing, but to me, it's serious. He's like, Peter's like, he's like, go. And Peter goes, and he's gonna be late because the traffic. He's riding his, motorcycle, whatever you want to call it, his jacked up looking yellow motorcycle. Comes a little later, but Peter sees his time. He's like, and he goes, it becomes Spider-Man. He web swings. This guy is watching him, and Spider-Man is web swings. And this made me laugh so hard when I saw this in the movie. I saw this after watching this movie on my TV here. He's like, "Whoa, you done stole that guy's pizza!" I'm like, I thought that was funny. And he's like, "Woo!" That is a fun scene of him web swinging. Just when he yells and says, "Ooh, yeah, I love seeing Spider-Man do that. And just having fun being Spider-Man. Come on, it'd be awesome to web swing around the city. Hell, he didn't have to worry about even having a car or driving. He could do anything he wants to. But these two children, they chase after a bouncy ball in the street. Got a bit run over by like a truck. Spider-Man, throws the pizza up. You get the roof pizza guy, the guy that wrote the Evil Dead movies. Just hey, look at me. I think you need. Come on. I think if you had a pizza that dropped on your door or the side of your building, if you're in the patio, you'd probably eat it, wouldn't you? No, I would. But anyway, Spider-Man saves the kids. Jumps in there and saves them. He's like, "All right, guys, no playing this juice." I say, "Yes, Mr. Spider-Man." And Spider-Man's like, "See you." Swings back up, and the guy's about to eat the pizza. Spider-Man comes, grabs it, and he's about to eat the pizza, but Spider-Man web swings it out of his hand. He's like, then he shows up late. He gets out of the closet. There's more the standard version which wasn't funny, but this is funny. He's you know dropping stuff like closet just late, which I thought was funny. Comes to the lady like pizza time. It's like you're late. I'm not paying for those. Part was like, then he goes back to his boss Joe, whatever his name is. He's like, "Fuck it, you're fired." He's like, "Give me a chance, Mr. Jesus. Give me another chance." Like tears the helmet, the head off of the pizza. He's like, "You're fired. Go." And Peter tries to go to the Colombian unit. Well, he talks to J. Jonah Jameson. He says, "Parker, you're fired." But decides not. Peter's like, "Well, that's slander. He doesn't take each other city against him." Matter of fact, which I'm very proud of. J.K. Simmons. I can't do J.K. Simmons, folks, but he's hilarious. They're talking there, but he gives him 100 for the pitcher, but it doesn't really cover it. And Peter's struggling because being Spider-Man is a heavy responsibility for him. I mean, yeah, it's fun when you're 15 or 16, however old fuck Peter was in the first movie. but he's nearly 21 now, I'm guessing. And being an adult living in the real world is difficult, to make that ends meet, I guess. Because he has to start paying his rent. He's got to have his jobs. He's going to Columbia University, going to college. He's got a lot on his plate, and he's struggling. So being a superhero Spider-Man at the same time is a bit difficult for him. But, Betty tells him to cheer up. And he goes, Columbia University, some girl was like, watch out, you jerk. I'm like, I'll be like, go watch out, bitch. And I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But he picks up, tries to pick up his bags. People are hitting him in the head. One of those people that hit him in the back is actually, can't see it, but it's actually Sam Raimi. That's one of the that hits him in the face with the bag. You just don't see his face. But what's funny about it, he's like, Dr. Kirk Connors is like, he's like, he's like, where are you going, Peter? He's like, to your class. My class is over. See me standing here? Jesus, Parker, what's happening to you? You're always late. Your paper on physics is still overdue. I know I'm I am planning to write a paper on Dr. Otto Octavius. Is like, he's like, pairing is, planning is not good enough, Peter. Then he says, Peter's like, Octavius is a colleague and a friend of mine. Do your work, get it done. I'm failing you, Peter. Peter's like, yeah, seriously. He goes home, and Aunt May throws a party for him along with Mary Jane and Harry. Mary Jane is an actress now. Uh, they said, in a play and stuff, making money there. Harry owns his father's business now. He's the CEO of Oscorp, and Aunt May just lives alone, widow. You know, who Peter has to also have responsibility to help her pay the bills as well, which she's struggling with in this movie to pay her bills. So they throw a party for him. Harry's like, dude, she's waiting on you. He's like, she's waiting on you, man. They're like, I don't have time for girls. What are you dead? You don't have time for girls. You've been busy taking your pictures of the friend. They're like, Harry, can we get off that subject? I want us to be friends. I know. I was like, if you knew who Spider-Man was, would you tell me? He's like, Peter don't say nothing. He said Mary Jane's looking at Peter, wanting him to say something. They have a little talk, and I'm sorry, she makes half of this faces sometimes, like with her mouth. She's like, I don't know, her dialogue I thought was cringeworthy in this scene a little bit. It's like, oh boy, yeah, you want to say something, Peter? You're such a mystery. You know, you're coming to my place. You know, or don't let you look ugly. You know, and he's like, that's good companionship. I swear, their relationship is probably the worst thing about this movie. The third movie gets worse, but here, I don't see no chemistry between these two. Honestly, never seen it. Well, her and Spider-Man had chemistry more than Peter Parker and her chemistry, to be honest. And she's like, oh, I'm seeing somebody now. It's like, she's like, what? You're coming to our place? Don't disappoint me. I won't. I'll be there. Peter goes home, and Mr. Dickovich, his landlord, along with his daughter, who has a crush on Peter, I guess, just like, rent. It was like this. Don't try to sneak past me. Eyes like a rodent, and ears like a cat, or something like that. He says, and he's like, all I have is this $20, and he takes it away from him. I thought that was funny. Forgot to mention Aunt May talks about her struggles. Peter sees that. She gives him a $20 bill and says, you can take this here, kiddo. Happy birthday. He's like, I can't take this. She's like, yes, you can. You can take this money from me. She cries and sad moment. You feel sorry for her. I mean, Aunt May has lost Ben, love of her life, and she is lonely. She only has Peter, and she's very much struggling. And it's just very sad to watch. Past the scene with Mary Jane, past the scene where I talked about, but Peter's just sitting down, just on his bed, just with his struggles. He gets up the next morning. Forgot to mention Harry invited him to meet Dr. Otto Octavius. Forgot to mention that, sorry. But he tries to go in the bathroom. He's like, tries to open the door here. He's like, hello? Hello? And he's like, eh. Landlord walks inside this. Rent? When he opens the door, Peter's like, rude. But Peter meets Doc Ock, which is, he looks up to Doc Ock and he's like, I know what you're doing, Mr. Parker. Nice to meet you, but I don't have time for change. But also, here's the bill. Like, but Osborn pays the bills. No, Oswald. I'm sorry. We're not talking about Batman here. Spider Man. Anyway, pays the bills. They talk, and Peter does talk about the fusion reactor that he's going to build. You don't. That might disappoint with Peter Parker here. You don't see him do any science stuff. You just see him in No Way Home. You do, but not here. You see him talking about all the nerdy stuff, but I want to see a bit more of that outcast and nerdiness. We don't really get that with him. What we do, that he's a nerd and stuff, and he can talk about me, and he is smart. I just wanted to see that. But anyway, he hangs out with him and his wife Rosemary, have dinner with them, and I like how she asked him, Peter, do you have a girlfriend? I was like, don't really know. It's more of a secret. Oh, a secret love, huh? Love should never be a secret. I'll leave him alone. And they talk about how they first met, and that's just like a sweet romantic moment. You needed those with Peter and Mary Jane. You saw I don't get that in these movies, but I thought that was a sweet moment, tender moment when they're talking about how they meet each other. You can just tell these two, you know, Alfred Molina and Donna Murphy, they play these characters so well. I really bought that they were in love, that they were a happy married couple, and yeah, I see why Peter looked up to that. Mike, Peter, maybe Mary Jane's not the one for you. Find a damn right girl. Jeez. Yeah. At least Otto found somebody he loved, but he looks up to Otto, and they have a good dinner scene. And he goes and read poetry. And Peter's reading poetry, like doing his laundry, and he, has died from his clean spider suit. He has these shorts that get messed up. Goes to get some flowers from Mary Jane. Tries to go to the play. Ride his motorcycle. These bad guys know they break into him, but he does this quick jump real quick. And he's like, gonna go be Spider-Man. This kid seems like, wow, how'd you do that? Work out, plenty of rest. Eat your vegetables. My mom is always saying that. I actually just never really believed her. Like, and then he goes to be Spider-Man. The bad guys see that they have trouble, and they start shooting at Spidey. Spider-Man, we get down to him, web them. I mean, he's got like these web spins. I'm not calling them web balls, but I'm gonna call them web spins. Okay, sue me. He shoots these these web spins at him. You know, jumps on there. They try to shoot at Spider-Man with their pistols for Spider-Man. Gets the web. You know, and then takes the car, takes his mask off, and then changes to Peter Parker and parks at the theater. And the cop says to him, "Hey, buddy, if you park there, I'm pulling it." It's like, whatever. Peter says, and he goes there. She's like, "Yep." Peter's she's like, "If you let me in, I'm a friend of Mary Jane." And he's like, "Well, she asked you not to come in late." He could have let Peter in, but he doesn't. But Peter's like, okay. This woman is saying, this Asian lady is saying spy with the violent Spider Man, Spider Man. He's like, then he sees Mary Jane come out. So he'll say something to her, probably apologize, but then this way you get Jameson's son, um, and see she's with somebody. Out of frustration, Peter goes, starts to web swing, just which is a cool shot by the way. But as he's webbing, his powers get to lose. He can't web, like, you know, falls on this building. He ends up okay. He's just like, oh, what was that? He takes his mask off, you know, jumps to the top of the building, top of a roof, the edge of it, and tries to web swing, but his powers aren't working. And he looks down the road, like, well, scared down there. He's like, hmm. So he starts to go in the elevator with this guy. The elevator, this guy shows up. He's like, cool Spidey outfit. He's like, where'd you get it? I made it. It's like, it looks tough or rough to wear or something like that. Whatever he says, he's like, yeah, it rides up in the crotch a bit too. He says, like, I was like, thought that was funny. And he goes home and looking at the pictures of Mary Jane, depressed and sad. Peter tries to call the next day on a payphone. Payphone breaks, and he says, "Okay, here it is, Mary Jane. I'm Spider-Man. Weird, right? No, I can't be with you because my enemies would come for you. If you got hurt, I can never forgive myself. I was trying to tell you how I feel about you. I guess the message didn't work, but I wish Peter would pour his heart out a little more. I was pouring it out, but pour it out more. And I want to see Mary Jane pour her heart out as well for Peter. If they love each other, they have likeness for each other, let it out. You let your feelings out. Don't, I love you. I don't love you. I don't want to be with you. I'm like, this is just frustrating as hell. Peter should have just talked to her after the play. Maybe just web swing her swing her in the butt or something like that. I'm not saying that in a weird way. I'm just saying he could web swing her, roll her around, give her a kiss. He's like, I'm Spider Man. Maybe that would take care of it. Then we could get some chemistry. At least Andrew Garfield did that to Emma Stone. Their chemistry is much better than those movies. I'm sorry, folks. And that's how you feel about the movie. That movie had a better love story that I care more about than this. These films, the love story doesn't work. Anyway, it goes to Doc Ock. Yeah, I mean, it's not Doc Ock, I can't leave Otto Octavius. And Otto just joke about a $20 bill. He shows him the arms, which is very practical. I love the way they make the arms. They're very practical and not CGI. For 2004, it looks great. And he tells him that he controls these arms. That you don't do the fusion reactor, a human hand, you can't touch it. You burn your hand. But he uses this as this reactor. He can use to start it up. This transfusion reactor to start up the reactor, or whatever. Thanks to I mean Harry providing it. Oscar for paying for it. He's like, have to pay the bill, Otto. And it starts up, and he's like, got the goggles on. His wife is happy, proud of their moment. She wants, her husband to complete his dream, and it turns on. He's like, everybody claps. It's like the power of the sun, in the palm of my hand. But the machine goes worried because something goes wrong with it, and Peter goes to dress up as Spider-Man real quick. Yeah, Rosemary, well, his wife Rosie trusts. Oh, come over here, come on. And she gets these bricks, have the wall bricks. She's about to get bricks on her, so she has to move out of the way real quick. She, yeah, he was like, "Otto, shut it down! I'm the boss. Shut it down!" And he's about to get killed. So Spider-Man saves him, and he's like, "This isn't over yet between you and me." And Spider-Man just lies and tells him, "I gotta shut it down." And then, Otto's like, "No!" And then hits him. Spider-Man knocks him out of the way, knocks him out for a little bit, and then in refusing to do so, Rosie gets killed. A piece of glass hits her in the throat. You don't see it, but it's scary to see. And he's like, and he's got this chip that's on the back right here in his neck that allows him to control the arms instead of him controlling his thoughts or whatever. But when he gets shot by his wife dying, the the future reactor of the sun bursts at him, and it just gives him a shock and it destroys the inhibitor in his neck. They hit the chip, which means that they control him now. And Spider-Man is able to get the machine off, grabs the button, is able to turn it off easily, and just looking after all the damage. And Harry talks about later, he could have. People saying he destroyed the city almost doing that. Peter, I mean, and then Harry's like, Spider-Man humiliated him by touching me. What was he doing here? And then you see Otto in the hospital. The doctors are gonna try to cut off the arms. They do surgery on his back, but these doctors hear something. Everybody's like, anybody who takes shots class? He's about to cut it off, and then he hears something. He's like, turns it back on. You know, the little saw, I guess you can say. But at will, the tentacles come to life at will, and they attack the doctor. And this is like a horror. This is one of the horror aspects of this movie. It's like a horror film. I remember seeing this theater when I was a kid. I was like, this is 2004, right? Yeah, 2004. Yeah, yeah. Like, I was probably like 11 years old when this movie came out, but I was still a kid. And then, man, this scared me. This scene scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. But they're attacking people. It's very practical and it's very scary. Everybody's like, screaming. You know, one of them got, one of the tentacles grabs the guy's face. Like, you know, there's one guy, takes him to the light and this lamp, shocks him. Still got this guy over the throat. It hits one guy. One of them drives his leg. She's like, getting close, like a horror movie. And this guy's trying to get this all cut it off. Then all to go see what's going on. They watch to go see what's going on. And they all three of them come up to save this one, and you don't see it. But then Doc Ock, Otto wakes up just after being unconscious. I mean, they were attacking. He was just kind of sitting there. He could probably feel it, but he's unconscious, not in control. But they take off the bandage off his eye. He's like, sees all the death that this just happened. He's like, no, breaks out of the hospital. This car nearly runs him over, but the Tentacles protect him. and he just looks at them, and he hears cops coming. He goes to this lair, this old abandoned warehouse, uses it as his hideout. Then next you have a scene where J.K. Simmons is talking about J. Jones' name, wants to write a story. He said, "What are we gonna call this guy?" Guy like Otto Octavius ends up with 8 limbs, 8 arms. Wow. We can call this guy, and often says Doctor Octopus. No, that's lame. Squid Man, no. Doctor Strange, that's a good one. Often, but it's taken. I know. Doctor Strange, Doc, that's a good one. Things like that. Even though I came up with him, but anyway, he's like Doc. It's like then you have Doc again. Doc, Otto Octavius was not a bad man. He just wanted to complete his dream and save science to help the world. But then doing this accident experiment going wrong, he loses his wife and his life is nearly over. And he's just sitting there depressed at the warehouse saying, "These things are these. My wife, my dream is dead. My Rosie is dead, and these things should be at the bottom of the river along with me." And then he's like, "I think the comments that a friend of mine when I worked at Goodwill told me about that they do talk in the head in his head. He's like something talking in my head. But he never realizes it's gone. It's like it's gone. I was like, what am I going to do now?" And they tell him, rebuild. Well, we need money for that. Rob a bank? No, I'm not a criminal. You're right. And Otto's thinking, but the factory was, I couldn't have miscalculated. It's working right. He's like, yes, we can rebuild. And then they tell about him robbing the bank. He's like, no, because like the real crime would not be able to finish what he started. So he's gonna become a criminal now. And he's like, this, we'll do it here. The palm of this, the hand of the palm of the sun in my hand. Nothing will stand in the way. Nothing. Uh, and then next scene you get Peter and Mary Jane, Peter and May at the bank, trying to get a loan from the bank to save their house, but they're saying it's not going to work. You just don't have the money. I'm sorry. Doc Ock robs the bank. Doc Ock takes his is like got this, where he's got the jacket and stuff and a hat. Takes that all off. Opens up the bankroll to get all this money. These cops try to stop him, and he just pushes them all over. And Peter, seeing this, runs away. Even though Aunt May's like, well, Peter, don't leave me. I was like, wow, that kid of yours is a real hero. Because they don't like Spider Man, but he goes, yeah. But Doc Ock takes his hat off, starts taking the money, putting it in the bags. And Spider Man swings up behind him. He sees Spider Man, starts throwing the money bags at him. You know, and I love this scene where Spider Man, web swings it. Again, they do give some Spider Man a little sense of humor here. He's like, this, here's your, Spider Man swings it. He's like, here's your change. Swings at his face. And until his powers mess up again, he's like, oh no. And Doc Ock gets him. He's like, you know. And I do like that they give Doc Ock a sense of humor. I'm glad that I familiar wanted to do that. He's like, you're getting on my nerves. I have an act for that. Not anymore. And he's about to, he's got a title. This with the tentacle was about to break his face, and he's like, about to kill him. Spider-Man web swings to desk. Doc Ock gets one, but he gets hit by one. He's surrounded by the cops, about to get arrested, so he kidnaps, grabs Aunt May. And Rosemary really did this, which I loved about her. She's willing to do her own stunt. If you don't believe me, just watch behind the scenes 12-hour documentary of the movie. She intended to do her own stunt here. She did. And Spider-Man says, like, he's got Aunt May. And Spider-Man's able to swing up to him. He's like, let her go now. He's like, of course. He's like, yeah, that's it. Give her to me. Better grab her hand. And then he drops it. He's like this. He's like, and he says, and he drops. He's like, oops, butterfingers. You know, and Spider-Man's able to web swing up her, pull her up. She's able to get to safety. She doesn't realize. She's like, help me, help me. He's like, just hang on. Doc Ock's got the tentacles on him. He's punching Doc Ock a couple times. He gives Doc Ock a few punches. Awesome action scenes. I will admit, this movie has a lot better action scenes than the first movie. The first movie had good action scenes. They weren't great. This one has so much better, like more punching and hitting and all that stuff. Yeah, they're about to fall to the all the way to the concrete, from the building to one of the tentacles grabs the side of the building. you know, she's like, help me, help me. And then she realizes that, oh, she's like, she looks this angel. So she's like, thank you. And Spider Man gets, I think in the extended version, they end up like in an office building throwing some punches at each other. But, the tentacle grabs Spider Man and swings him over to another building. I forgot to mention earlier, this lady can hear that car coming. She's like, wait a minute. Then, she sees the tentacles come through the building. She's like, ah, ah, you know, but then decided, like, Aunt May, he's like, you're going to have this woman's death on it. You checked your weapons my business for the last time. Now this woman's death is going to be in her conscious. Spider Man goes, the side of the building, web swings, gonna slingshot himself over there. And Dog Guy's like, come on, gets a knife. Tentacles have a knife in it to stab Spider Man. Almost works. And Aunt May sees this. She's got her umbrella. She's like, I forgot to mention earlier the banker guy that they were trying to get a loan from tries to steal some money. Aunt May's like, slaps him. I thought that was funny. She also kicks him too, which I thought was funny. But anyway, the funniest thing she does here, she's like, before Spider-Man, she saves his life, Spidey's life, by just like, hits him in the head. Spider-Man's able to lean over. I'm Post Death, and it's awesome music here. Dave Sherry's like this, and he's like, "Thank you so much." He's like, "We sure showed him." What do you mean we? Oh, really? And then swings away, and every girl's looking at him, and awesome web shot off. But meanwhile, Octavius escaped with the money stolen. Or the cops are shooting at him, but he gets away. That's definitely a better shot scene than in Spawn, in my opinion. And then next thing you know, there's a party. Mary Jane is playing the Mary J. Jones Jam. Well, they announce it. Peter's there because he's there for work, because he needs the money. Because at first he says to fire Peter, but Peter's like, well, you're rehired, so I need you. Tell him that later on. Harry gets drunk because of the failed experiment. And he's like, what you drink if you lost a $20 billion fortune? It's a party. Moping. He tries to talk to Mary Jane, and he tries, she does read poetry. She's like, no. And I didn't care for that scene. Again, she looks beautiful in the black dress as well, but I'm like, is she just gonna marry J. Jonah Jameson because she's pissed off at Peter? I'm like, that's just really all because you're angry because you missed a play. Well, whoop de doo. I'm like, oh. And she tells him, my father and my brother will see it. Blah blah. Aunt May has seen it. Blah blah blah. I'm like, well, you know what? I, you know what? I'm sorry. Sometimes people's lives are busy. Just to be on you, Mary Jane. It's just that she's sounding so selfish to me. Like it's all about her, you know. And I do feel sorry for Peter. I'm like, Peter, ditch this broad, dude. Go get some, hell, bring freaking Gwen Stacy in here. You know, hell, you got Betty at work at the Daily Bugle. You got that girl next door. I'm like, go for one of them, dude. They seem to somewhat like you and appreciate you. Uh, Peter gets slapped. Well, gets bitch slapped by Harry. Harry's like this. Huh, you still MJ for me. Still my father's love. And you won't show me Spider-Man because he's your friend or whatever. And he slaps him. He's like, is that right, brother? Hmm? Slaps him twice. And he walks away in anger. And Mary Jane, J. Jonah Jameson's son says, I've asked the beautiful Mary Jane wants to marry me. Everybody's clapping. Peter's like, you know. The next you see him web slinging, he loses his powers again. He's like, takes his mask off. And he's like, tries to web. He's like, what's happening to me? When he first became Spider Man, got his powers, first thing he did is roll crawl up the wall. He tries to do that. Doesn't work. Now remember, Peter wore glasses before becoming Spider Man. He's reading the paper. It says, Spider Man, Doc got robbed bank. He's very way at it. He has this vision of Uncle Ben telling him about, Peter, the things that you've been thinking about make me sad. We need to talk. But with great power comes great responsibility. It's like, I can't live your dreams anymore. I'm, I just want to be Peter Parker. I'm Spider Man, no more. Uncle Ben has that sad look on his face, like, no more. And people can make fun of him crying, but in here, it's a good reason for him to cry, though. And in the first movie, especially for losing Uncle Ben, and Peter makes his choice to decide to quit being Spider-Man. It's a sad moment. He gets to talk from the doctor, he's able to tell like his friend is Spider-Man. He's having the dream. He's like, well, Peter, maybe you're not supposed to be that guy climbing those walls. Maybe you're just not Spider-Man. Your friend Spider-Man. I mean. And when he tells Uncle Ben about it, he says it. He's like, no more, no more. And then you get the scene where he, you know, beautiful shot scene and sad scene as well when he throws the Spider-Man suit in the trash. And then you get this on raindrops keep falling on the head. Yeah, it's a cheesy moment. He's walking, just falls, puts the glasses on, eating a hot dog, enjoying himself, just relaxing and being caught up in the schoolwork, making better grades. Kirk Connors is proud of him. He's doing so much better for himself. Um, this scene where you know, he said, "Brilliant work today, Parker." Connor says, Kirk Connor says, like, "Keep it up." And Peter's like smiles and he's going like, he goes to Mary Jane's play, which is good, but then later on she still is being a pain. He's like, can we go for buy you a drink? He's like, Peter, I'm getting married. I'm like, all he offered you was a drink or something to buy you a drink. He didn't to go out to eat. I'm like, shit, you wanted to go and have a burger with him when you were dating Harry, but you're marrying a guy. I'm like, gee, at least he went to your play, you ungrateful bitch. Excuse my language. I'm not calling her a bitch in real life. I'm saying the character, but it's like, you can't get up here, you get up here. I'm like, this, God. These things are cringeworthy. I'm like, shut up. He's like, I imagine you being married on the hilltop. And I'm like, this drama is just driving me crazy between these two. I'm like, there's no chemistry. She's like, oh, you are different. Leaves. And Peter smiles. Yeah. And there's a scene where these girls like flirting, like, are looking at him smiling. Then Peter sees this guy getting beaten up by muggers or thieves or beating this guy, and he can't do nothing about it. He's like, just because he can't do anything about it. He's no longer Spider-Man. It's a sad moment too. And he, Aunt May go to Aunt May, Uncle Ben's grave, and she's like, it was my fault. Aunt May's always like, Aunt May, you don't have to, he's like, oh, it is my fault. Then he finally tells her the truth, tells her, it's my fault. I was like, but you were at the library doing your homework. No, he took me to the library, but she's like, what? And he tells her the full truth, like, I went to Rose because I wanted to win money just to impress Mary Jane. And the guy was supposed to tip me 100. He didn't give me 100,000, but gave me 3. He ripped me of my money. I was so angry and I wanted revenge. And he got robbed. The guy that robbed him ran past me, and I let him go. So I wanted revenge. And then the robber, in scared needed a car, and he wanted Uncle Ben's car. And Uncle Ben said no, and so he shot him. And Uncle Ben was the only one that night. The only one that night for was only that for doing the got shot and hurt just for the only one doing the right thing that night. I've tried to tell you so many times, and Aunt May just gets up. Just you see this sharp look on her face, and she just gets up and goes back upstairs. You know, that was a real sad moment. You know, of her knowing the truth. And he's thinking to himself, "Is this what I want? Is this what I want to do?" Then the girlfriend next door offers him a piece of cake. She offers him a chocolate cake. She's like, "Do you want some chocolate cake and milk?" And they eat. Maybe it's chocolate. We don't see it, but we see Peter just finishing the milk, like, the cake. And he's like, "Appreciate that. Thank you so much." You know, and he's like, "Your auntie called. Your aunt called," and he gets the food, not the food thing. Aunt, sorry. You know, he's like, "I can take care of things." He's like, I'm sorry." He's like, "I was pissed off. Just water under the bridge." Peter, I forgive you. And there's a sad moment. She hugs him. I was like, and he loves you. You just made a mistake. And she holds on well to Peter. She forgives him. And they have a sad hugging moment. And they talk about that's Henry Jackson, the kid. And I just didn't like when Peter said to the kid, I remember trying to thanks. I mean, I get it, Peter's choice, but you don't want to tell a kid that. You don't want to get their hopes down. You know, that's like telling them just when to go and get stuff quick. And it was a very good. Again, I understand, folks. It was a choice, but you don't want to tell a kid that. That's bad advice to tell them. You're basically telling them just to give up in life. When somebody's your hero, looking up to them, you want them to succeed. They're. And she that great line of dialogue that Rosemary is the best dialogue Aunt May has ever said in any Spider-Man movie. You know, people look up for the heroes. People love heroes. Line up for them. I believe there's a hero in all of us that we need. You know, I can't do that dialogue like Rosemary Harris can, but she did it fantastically, and that encourages Peter. And then Peter says, "It's too like I said, some humor there. This movie does have its good humor as well." He's like, "Hey, where are my comic books? Oh, those old things. I threw those away." So it's like, "Can you help me with the table? But don't strain yourself. You're back." Okay. Then he tries to go jump off a building. Well, not jump off a building, but jump across a building. Focus on what I want. He starts to run. He's like, and he jumps. He's like, "I'm back. I'm back. Ah, I ain't gonna fun." Doesn't die. He Thankfully he hits some laundry mattresses, strings in the way. Lands on the car. He's like, "I'm back. I'm back." Him walking. That was brilliantly shot and so funny. I remember people just getting good laughs out of this movie. It's not like fully comedy, but it's a comedy movie, and you want some sense of humor in there. Oh, I forgot to mention Doc Ock has completed the rebuilding of his reactor. He needs the tritium, which refused the actor, so he ends up going to Harry Osborn for it. Harry's just having a drink that night, saying goodnight, Bernard. He's like, "Your father only obsessed over his work. Goodnight, Bernard." I'm like, "Mind your own business." Oh, Bernard pisses me off in the next movie. We'll get to Spider-Man 3. I promise you that. Anyway, he looks over the bill. I remember this scared me in theaters when he was looking down. Tentacle hits him. He's like, "Hello, Harry. I need the tritium. More of it. I need more of it this time." He's like, "You're a hack." He's about to. He's like, "Wait a minute. Maybe he's about to peer off the building with the tentacle." He's like, "Wait a minute. Maybe we can make a deal." He's like, "Kill Spider-Man." On second thought, no. Bring Spider-Man to me alive. I'll give you all the tritium you need. Where do I find him? Peter Parker. He knows he takes pictures of the other people. Parker. He's like, "Don't hurt Peter." Yeah. Mary Jane has seen what she's talking to her husband. He's like, "Don't you worry about your friend Peter Parker? Oh, he's a great teacher." Don't know how. Anyway, so she does the upside down kiss like from the first movie. Which again, I think she knows he's Spider Man. You remember from the first movie when he told her he didn't love you, just love you as a friend, or I'll be there as your friend. Yada yada. And like she's like, come on, she knew Peter's Spider Man. So if she knew, why would she be so mad at him missing place? She had to know he's Spider Man. This movie. In the animated series, their relationship wasn't much better done. And Mary Jane meets him in a coffee shop. She's having second thoughts. She's like, "Do you love me or not?" He's like, "I don't. Kiss me to prove it." She just, I need to know something. And they share a kiss. So, what they're about to, then you get the scene where his spider sense comes back to, you know, spider sense comes back, and the car throws over, and he's like, shh, shh, you know, the tire slashes over his face. He's like, "What's that?" And then his dog guy's like, "My guy says, Peter Parker and a girlfriend." He grabs him by the throat. His son says, "Where's Spider Man? I don't know. Find him, or I'll peel the flesh off her bones. If you touch her, you'll do what?" And then throws him to the side. He gets knocked over the building. She's like, "Peter." He grabs Mary Jane. It's a bit CGI shot there, you know, and he, punches the wall, punches to get out of those bricks. His glasses are, he's like, takes the glasses off. He's bad to be Spider-Man. He's like, well, he gets it before he get, well, remember, I forgot to mention, J. Johnson got the costume just thanks to a homeless man or trash man or whatever finding it and getting some money for it. Then he's like, "Spider-Man was here. He's the only one that can stop Octavius." Yes, Spider-Man is a hero. You know, he's a thief. He's like, "I want to start his own web." When he steals it, he's like, "Because your friend never this pisses on." He's like, "I want Spider-Man," and he's back, and then web swings to Doc Ock, and Doc's like is waiting for him at this clock tower. Save the clock tower. And I'm just kidding. I'm just rambling on. He's like, "Where is she?" Spider-Man says, and Doc Ock's like, "Let's talk," and then they fight. This is my favorite scene in the movie, the train fight. They fight on the building a little bit. Spider-Man punches him. He throws Spider-Man to the ground. Spider-Man, there's this piece of cloth that he grabs with his web in the building. Hits Doc Ock with it. Doc Ock breaks it with his tentacles, throws it down Spider-Man. Spider-Man kicks two of them out of the way, but but the tentacles like hit him, knock him down. He web swings and like web swings, webs. Doc Ock drives him down with him. They fight. He punches. They land on the train. Get ready to fight. Spider-Man's like this. And he doing the moves. Have to get down a little bit. Sorry, they go down a bit, and he jumps up and kicks him. He's able to knock Spider-Man out nearly, and they go to the bottom of the side of the train, start fighting. Spider-Man's punching, and he tries to, you know, Spider-Man able to web at him. Spider-Man, he throws him in the train. Spider-Man jumps back out, jumps back up. Spider-Man's looking for Doc Ock, sees where the temple is, looks back, and Doc Ock hits him. But Spider-Man is on the rope, but he's web swinging, get back up there, which is cool, very well shot, very good music by Daniel Elfman in this scene. He grabs two people, tries to throw them, but Spider-Man grabs them, webs them to safety, and Doc Ock not wanting to continue fighting with him, overdoes the train, knocks the train driver out, and it grabs the machine, tears the driver, tears the wheel off of the driver of the train, and the train's going like 120 miles per hour, and Doc Ock throws him the the train the train drive or whatever. The wheel basically said, "You have a train to catch," and he says, "What's wrong? It won't go." And then he gets sprayed on the water, the electricity like shocks his mask, and he takes the mask off. He's like Spider-Man. He's like, "Tell everybody to hold on." He tries to kick it, and jump to see if he can stop it. Doesn't work. He's like, "Oh, any more bright ideas?" The guy says, "Like, I got a few, yeah." Spider-Man tries to web it. Doesn't work at first, but he small webs, you know, transmitting webs, and he stops sort of, webs hit, saves the people in time. He passes out from being so tired. They grab him, they help him, and there's like he's a kid, he's just a teenager, but he's a hero, and it's like, and it's all right. The guy tells him, "It's like we won't tell anybody you're Spider-Man." They know who, I guess, Peter Parker behind the mask. I guess Peter Parker's not really like Bruce Wayne or anything, but they say we won't tell nobody. It's good to have you back, Spider-Man, and that was an awesome scene. Gets up, Doc Ock comes, and he's mine. And then passenger, you want the train passenger say you want him? You have to go through me, and he does that very well. Spider-Man's like, I got this, kind of, you know, and he knocks Spider-Man out, takes him to Otto. I mean, Otto, Doc Ock takes him to, he's like, takes him right away there to Osborn's mansion. Says, "Where do you want him?" Right there, tied up. He's like, "There's the tritium," and he takes it, and he gets the knife. And you see this from the trailer, if you've seen the trailer. And he's like, "Before you die, I want to look up the man's eye. Cause Miss Payne calls me for which you killed my father." He's about to, stab him with a knife and kill him. Takes the mask off. He's like, "Peter, there's Spider-Man." He's like, he breaks out the barbed wire. He's like, "Where is she? Where did he take her?" He's like, "Peter, you killed my father. There are bigger things here than you and me right now. Harry. Please tell me. He's gonna hurt a lot more people this time with this machine. He's gonna kill half the city. When that happens, she'll die. Mary Jane will die too. So please tell me." And he does. You know, Doc Ock is ready to start his machine almost. The fusion reactor with the tritium he's got. He can start it more bigger this time, but it doesn't work. I mean, it works. He tells Mary Jane, he's like, "Well, Spider-Man can't stop me. He's dead." He's like, "I can't let you go to the police. He's gonna kill her, just because she's a witness, and we'll get the police on him." So he starts to kill her by turning the machine on. Spider-Man's like crawling a little bit, sneaking around, you know, and I like that moment where he's at the reactor, sees a look on Doc's face with the guy, and Spider-Man sneaks up on him. I mean, well, sneaks up to Mary Jane's like, "Hey, now when I get you out of here," then he almost gets hit by something, and Doc sees him. He's like this. "I knew Osborn didn't have the guts to finish you. You're gonna hurt. You need to shut down, Doc. You're gonna hurt a lot more people this time." Spider-Man says, "He's like, well, that's a risk we're willing to take." "Well, I'm not." He tries to web swing him, but Doc is able to grab him, throw him outside. Spider-Man's able to web swing back. He kicks him down, dog right down, gives him a few punches. He's like, "Hold on, Mary Jane." She's about to die in this machine. Spider-Man comes just down, web her, grabs her real quick, and then he gets knocked out real hard by Doc Ock. Pushes him to the side with the tentacles. Grabs the tentacles, gonna finish Spider-Man off, get him upside down. I was like, let's see you scurry out of this. Before he can do anything though, MJ tries to sneak up on him, but he gets MJ. But he's like, let's see you scurry out of this. He's about to kill Spider-Man. Finally, with final blow, Spider-Man grabs up the electricity, webs it up, and he hits with his, is knocked out and passed out. And Spidey realizing to get Mary Jane to safety, well, she's already safe. He's like, he turns the machine off, pushes the button, but it doesn't work, and Spider-Man's like, now what? Well, realizing that he needs Doc Ock's help. Then he recharges and he's like, Dr. Octavius. He's like, hmm? He's getting this Spider-Man, so he takes off the mask, like, Peter Parker, brilliant but lazy. He's like, you gotta stop this machine. No, I can't stop it. He's able to attack him again he could get up and kill him again. But he's like, you know, I know you wanted these things. They've turned you into something you're not. You're not a monster. This isn't you. Sometimes we have to give up what we want the most, even our dreams. You know, for good of mankind. That's what science is about. Good of mankind. And he's like, he listens. He's like, finally, Octavius, snaps out of it. It's like, you're right. And the tentacles don't want to listen. He's like, listen to me now. And they're refusing. He's like, listen to me now. And they listen. He's like, okay, well, what do we do to shut it down? Water, drown it. And Peter Parker's like, no, I'll do it. Undoing the damage he caused. And they have that look at each other. Like, this is the last time they're going to see each other. We'll see each other on the way home. But it's a sad look. Like, you just know that you know, realizing that, he's going back to be a good man again. And realizing his mistake and fixing it up. You know, yeah. He drowns the building. I mean, drowns the building, drowns it. He's like, "This, I will not die, monster." And he goes into the water. Fortunately, Doc Ock does drown the water. Mary Jane's about to crush. He tells her he loves her. He pushes the side of this building off of her. Does about getting on her. Picks her up. They fly away. He says, "Now you know I can't be with you because the Spider-Man will always have enemies." But the fight is over. She goes back to her J. Jameson, JJ's son. Sorry. Give each other a hug, and she's with Peter up there. Spider-Man puts his mask back on, looks, and web slings away from the scene. Harry has a vision of his father. My dad does this to me sometimes where it's like, son, he sees the vision of him in the mirror. He's like, you sort of make Spider-Man pay, so make him pay. Well, I can't. Peter's my friend, and I'm your father. Avenge me. He's like, no. And then he sees that this hideout, and he sees that the illusion demands that his son kill Peter. The secret room containing the goblins were in. He sees the goblin mask. He sees the the goblin pumpkins and the glider, realizing that his father was the Green Goblin the whole time. And it's sad, the next day you have the wedding. Mary Jane has second thought. She leaves him a note for one of her friends. You see her running. That's the only part I liked about Mary Jane in this movie. And she's like, oh, I'm here, Peter. I'm always been standing in the doorway, Peter. I want to face these with you. I love you, Peter Parker. And like, I love you so much. Thank you, Mary Jane. And he loves her too. And they share a kiss. They share a kiss at the end. Then you hear the police siren. She's like, go get him, Tiger. We don't have that much of this Mary Jane in this movie. The real Mary Jane. Not the Spitfire that we can see here. That she says, "Get him, which is an awesome line." He goes, and you see him web at the end with the two helicopters behind him going to help Spidey, I guess, fight some crime into the sunset, and she's just looking, like hoping the relationship will work. I know that it might not, and it might be the road afterwards might be difficult to go down this path. It might be they're going to go some difficulties, like she knows it might not fully work, but that's the ending of Spider-Man 2. Yeah, Not gonna read any quotes from the movie because yeah, okay. Well, let me get my final opinion on Spider-Man 2. Just real quick, guys. I'm almost done. Just give me a few minutes here. But anyway, and I'll give you some of my issues too. But Spider-Man 2, I love this movie. This is a classic sequel. This is the best Spider-Man film. My favorite. Not my favorite Spider-Man actor, but still my favorite Spider-Man movie. Or anyway, before I get into it, I like the story. I thought the story was good. I can understand people struggling. Life is hard sometimes, paying bills, paying rent. It can be difficult, and plus for him being Spider-Man, it's difficult. So you understand Peter's struggles. You feel sad for Peter, but he has to learn to balance that. And he does by the end of the movie learns that he'll have to balance that throughout his life. You know, and yeah, it had a really good story, making choices that make you who you are. That's what I get from this one. This is the choice who make the choices you make that makes you who you are. If it's making any sense. But yeah, the film is great. It has a good storytelling, good lines of dialogue, like the hero speech is really good. Good lines of dialogue in the film. Doc Ock is a great villain. Tobey Maguire does a great job as Peter Parker. He's an alright Spider-Man. He does have, I'll admit, they do give him a sense of humor. Like when it says, "Here's your change." I just want Spider-Man to have more humor. He's very quiet as Spider-Man. I want Spider-Man to be more chatty. Not like Tom Holland. I mean, but like Andrew Garfield, when Andrew Garfield is speaking a lot of Spider-Man, I want to see Spider-Man talk about and joke around. That's Spider-Man. It's always necessary. I want Spider-Man talking. I want to hear more of him talking. But again, the script is good though. The action scenes are well shot. I do think Kristen Dunst. I don't like her as Mary Jane. I like her in the ending. She got the beautiful dress on and stuff, and some good dialogue at the end. But that's it. And that I don't like the scenes with her and Peter. That's my probably my big problem with them is their relationship. I don't buy the romance in here. It doesn't kill the film for me, but I don't care about the relationship. There is just no chemistry between these two. I don't see it. I fail to see that chemistry. You need that good love story in there. But Alfred Molina, I don't care. But he just James Franco does a better job. He was okay in the first movie, but in here he does a great job. Good performance like that. Harry's more, a little more backwards, and I like that how he feels about his father, how mad he is, how upset. And Harry's had a whole life. He's lost his mother, his father died. He blames Spider-Man. His life is a bit of a wreck too. Learning the truth. You feel sorry for Harry. At least I do. Doc Ock, you feel tragedy. He was just a man trying to do, good for mankind with science, trying to help the world with science, but got into a tragic accident, became this villain, and didn't want to become a villain. He wasn't a bad man. Didn't start off that way. It just, became that way for him. So he's a tragic character. When he dies, it's very sad to see his death. I think when he's in the water, when you see his death in his body floating. Yeah. Rosemary Harris, I love her, as Aunt May here. When Spider-Man saves her, that was amazing. See what I did there? Amazing. And plus, her speech is amazing too. I'm going to keep on saying that. I believe there's here in all of a speech. That was a great line of dialogue. Such good writing. Donna Murphy does a great job. Yeah. The rest of the cast, J. Jonah Jameson, J.K. Simmons is great. I love him in this movie. He's still the show. He's funny. Brings a lot of the humor to the movie. At the end, when Mary Jane leaves their old store, he's like, tell her, call this lady, tell her, not to open up the caviar champagne. Yeah, but the cinematography is nice. The film has better looking cinematography. The editing, the music by Danny Elfman is good. It's not fully for Spider-Man, but with Doc Ock suit, it's real good. With some of the score, it does good. It's not fully Spider-Man to me, but it is a good score. I like it mostly in Spider-Man 2. And at the end of the first movie, it's better than the first movie because I think it has a better story. The action scenes are awesome. Doc Ock versus Spider-Man. Yeah. Their fights in here are awesome. The train scene is my favorite scene in the movie, fight scene in the movie. A little more in the extended version. Some awesome fight scenes in the film between them. I think I would say I like Green Goblin, but the Power Rangers, I think Dog Ock looks great in here. The tentacles look great. They're very practical, not CGI. There's some CGI shots that I don't think age well, but it's not like in Spider-Man 3 where you mostly see it, where it's mostly noted. It's noted in here, but they don't. They go more practical than CGI most of the time in this film. The only the film only uses CGI when they need it. The edge effects for Doc Ock, the tentacles look great. The tentacles look fantastic. Doc Ock does not look like a Power Rangers villain. It's not like he looks like you know who forget what was the villain in my Power the movie. Shit, I nearly forgot. But he doesn't look silly like him in that movie. Um, and the running time, the movie's over 2 hours long, but it's a good film. The pacing is good. The film has such a good story about Peter's struggles, following him. But when the scenes when he's Spider-Man and he's flying, especially at night or in daytime, is great to look. Especially at nighttime, it looks great. And the costume, I think, looks much better. The costume looks great. This is my second favorite Spidey suit. My favorite Spider-Man suit is from Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's always been my favorite Spidey suit ever since seeing that movie back in 2014. I only hate that movie, but this is better than Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2, I don't hate. I'll be honest, but we'll get more into that when we get to the Andrew Garfield ones. Not right now. I don't want to hear it right now. So just focus on this movie right now. But it's good, good casting. Sam Raimi did a great job directing. Really worked hard for the story here, the writing, the script. Everyone that worked on this movie did a great job. Great movie. And I really did like it. I loved it. I enjoyed it. Still the best Spider-Man movie in my opinion. My rating, despite my issues with Mary Jane and Peter, that's the biggest flaw I have with this. It gets worse in the third movie. I don't care about the relationship. Out the door they go. I don't care for it. Remy Gwen Stacy. They do in the third movie, but yeah, but it's a love triangle, and I don't like that. But anyway, we'll get more into Spider-Man 2 later. Spider-Man 2, still the best Spider-Man movie, my favorite Spider-Man film, and my rating for Spider-Man 2, despite that one issue I have though, I still love this movie regardless. A masterpiece of its own free will, not completely, but still a great movie, still a great sequel. And I'm gonna give a thumbs up for Spider-Man 2. And my rating for this film on the website, Spider-Man 2 is 5 out of 5 stars. So once again, Spider-Man 2, my rating for this film is 5 out of 5 stars and a thumbs up. I love this film. Great movie. Love it. One of the best superhero films ever made, in my personal opinion. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. If you hate them, some people could probably hate this movie. If you do, that's your opinion. I'm not gonna make fun of you. You can be honest. You may never be afraid to share your opinion. Never be ashamed of who you are. Never be ashamed to give your own personal thoughts on a movie. Don't go with what everybody else says. Don't be scared. This is definitely better than Dark Knight Trilogy, in my opinion. Yeah, I'd rather watch this over the Dark Knight. Dark Knight's much longer, halfway boring, sometimes even. Dark Knight Rises, I hate that movie. That film sucks. This is a lot better. But Spider-Man 2 is still the best one. Spider-Man 3, yeah, kind of kills it after this. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. And let me know in the comments down below what you think of Spider-Man 2. I'm sure most of you agree with me that it is the best Spider-Man movie. And tell me in the comments down below, what do you think of Spider-Man 2 in your opinion? And who's your favorite Spider-Man villain? Green Goblin or Doc Ock? Mine is Doc Ock. When it comes to the Spider-Man series, Doc Ock, definitely. And I give it a thumbs up for Spider-Man 2. And my rating for Spider-Man 2 is 5 out of 5 stars once again. So guys, tell me in the comments down below what do you think of Spider-Man 2 in your opinion. And stay tuned next. Because next, this is probably going to be a rant coming up next. Next will be a 2004, another 2004 movie that came out in July, and this film I hate. Gosh, and it's not, it's terrible. No, it's good. Yeah, one of the worst superhero films I've ever seen in my life, and that is Catwoman, starring Halle Berry. This is next, so wish me luck. I'll be watching this film next. So tell me, so yeah, the Catwoman with Halle Berry. Sorry for the glare. That's next. And let me know in the comments down below what you think of Spider-Man 2 in your opinion. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.